Okay, so this video is going to be a short reintroduction of how this whole Visual Studio Xna game programming environment is laid out. So if you're listening to this, it's because you just wanted a refresher course on how things are laid out, or you're just getting started. And I'll explain the basics. We're not going to get into too much advanced code in this one, more of just what's already in the given default program. So over on the right-hand side is our Solution Explorer. Okay, different than maybe other projects we've worked on, a project in this language has 40 or 50 files associated with it. And those files are stored in different areas throughout this program, and you won't actually use all those files, but they're all sort of the files that are required to make the cool stuff happen on the screen that we're going to be using. Has a bunch of files that are used in the system to do that. And so the stuff you're going to be concerned with would be over here. You've got the game1.cs. CS stands for C#. That's the language we're using. And over here, you see this is game1.cs. This is the code that comes in game1.cs. And so if you were ever to accidentally lose that by accident, whoa, all right, it's not a problem. It's right here at game1.cs. You can double click on that. There it is again. It's not a problem. And in fact, if you were actually, some of you guys will actually accidentally close out your Solution Explorer, not a problem as well. Over here under View, Other Windows, your Solution Explorer can show up right there. So, and then also you have the content area right here. Content will be images, videos, maybe audio, background music, or that kind of stuff, and even fonts that we'll use to display text on the screen. Just like you would in Microsoft Word, you would give some text a font. You have to in this game as well, and because it's like a picture on a screen, it's called content. So, okay, so that's your Solution Explorer. Over on the left inside of game1.cs is our code, okay, and it comes with, I'm not sure how many lines of code, but 40 or 50 default lines of code to get you started. At the top is our all of our imports for bringing in all the built-in pre-written library code that would be for just Windows programming, and also for Xna, which is the library for the Xbox game design engine. And if you were to go work at Xbox division in Microsoft, out in San Francisco, you might actually have these same using statements inside your program on your desk there as well. Over here on the left, you have a bunch of minuses and possibly pluses, and you can always close down a region. In fact, crazy people, you can even make your own regions to hide code to get it out of the way. Okay, so your main code is pretty much beginning right here where it says public class game1. And game1 is the default name it gives to games in there. You can actually change that, but we're not going to. But a class, okay, is what object-oriented languages such as C# use, and the word we've been using is program. And so a variety and a collection of classes might make up one huge program, like one of the big Xbox games you might buy in the store. We're just going to be using one main program like we have done in all of our classes so far, and one class. And so the whole program will go between this left squiggly bracket and its friend, which is right there. And so all of our code is going to go in there. Okay, so this first thing that goes at the top of a class, a little bit similar to Blitz Basic, we had all of our variable declarations up at the top of the program. Things were, you know, for X and Y coordinates, for scorekeeping, for timers, for keeping various types of things you might be maintaining in your program to track your progress. You might also have, if you're going to bring in some pictures into your game or some audio or some video, you would have variables here that would allow you to do that. They'll go right here. Okay, and then if you'll scroll down a little bit, you have a initialize method. We are going to use the initialize method to where it says add your initialization logic here. What that means is, what are the initial values of some of the variables that you declared up here that you'd like to be when your game starts? For example, if you had score and you want a score to start at 0, you would say score equals 0 right here. Just the what are the initial values of your variables that you're going to want when your program starts? And that's your initialize method, and it happens automatically. It's one of the first things that happens when your program runs automatically. Okay, your load content method is going to sync up with this content over here. Okay, and it will be the area where we add in all of our pictures, all of our images, all of our sounds, all background music, all of our video, and also our fonts. And so we will be using that a lot. The unload content method, we will not really be using that. The update method, we will be using this. This is probably where you'll spend most of your time. I think right now we have 2 lines of code. By the end of your project, some of you may have hundreds, if not thousands, of lines of code right here. Okay, so the update method is called automatically about 60 times per second. In other words, once every 1/60th of a second, this update method is told by the system to run. And it's pretty accurate for the level that we're going to be working at, but it's automatic. And so all of your game code is going to go in here. So all of your game logic, your artificial intelligence, your scorekeeping, what do I do this in this scenario, all of your game controller code, and if you have connect code, some of that will go in here. And so this is where you will do all of your non-graphic related code. Okay, if statements and changing a variable to be equal to this and that kind of stuff. Okay, and that's called your update code. And then following every call to the update method is a call to the draw method. Okay, and the draw method is going to actually be all of your graphic display code. Basically saying draw a bunch of pictures on the screen right now. There's a special command for that. And we don't really want to have a bunch of non-graphic code in here. I don't want to have scorekeeping code here. And I don't want to have code which handles what do I do when I get to the edge of a screen. I don't want that code. I want to have my draw picture code. And also, you guys will learn later on, we're going to actually draw text on the screen as well. So you will be doing that, and that's your draw code is called automatically once every 60th of a second immediately after the update method. So your update method and your draw method work in unison to run your program. Okay, so the update method updates all your logic, updates all the values of your variables and the conditions that you want to check and all that stuff, and then immediately after it redraws that on the screen so you can see the results of your gameplay. And these two methods end up happening continuously until the game ends. In this code right now, the only way to make your game end is by hitting the back button on the game controller. And so, and then to run a program, you would actually just hit that button right there. It runs our program, and right now we don't really have any code, but there's our program. So there's an introduction to Visual Studio, which is the name of the program that we're using to write an Xbox game. Okay, the language we're using is called C#. Okay, and that language can also be used to write non-Xbox game code, but because we are using C#, it actually comes with a bunch of pre-written code that Microsoft provides with the Xna library, which has a ton of Xbox game design related code that we can use, game controller code, and also ways to do things in the way that Microsoft does with Xbox. So that is the end of your introduction.